Hey guys, welcome back to the Glory Living channel. My name's Hannah. Today we are talking corn, how to pollinate it, how to make it so that you will have a more successful corn harvest and get ears that are full of kernels and not all blotchy all over. So I want to show you how to do that today. We've got some overcast. It's finally cooling off for a moment this afternoon and I can show you how to do it. Let's go check it out. Well guys, this is one of my favorite things about the garden. I think that how corn grows and how it pollinates is absolutely so cool, so beautiful. I want to share it with you today, expand your mind a little bit, and help you grow better corn. So let's start with viewing the parts of the corn stalk. That way you understand what I'm about to explain further and on a deeper level. It's not complicated, but it's fun to talk about. So let's go check it out. Okay, so you can see all these corn stalks. We've got almost 200 of them planted. What you can see here is this main part of the stem. And what everybody knows is what you can see down here lower are the ears of corn. So up top here, what we're going to be talking about are these tassels up here. Up top of these tassels have different parts. Now, what you can see here is these little seeds here, and these are all over the ground. But what you see in this green is called the gloom, where these little seed type things that are coming out of the gloom, these little tan parts, are called the anthers. Those are carrying the pollen. Those are what are actually going to pollinate our corn. Now, why is pollination important? That's what's going to create our kernels on the cob. So the gloom, when this is all starting, is all tightened up. You can see down here, here's another one, and the anthers pop out of here. Let me see if I can show you that well. Okay, so when this is closed, it is the gloom, when it's closed, just will look green, and as it opens up, you'll see all of these little anthers like these back here start to fall out. Now, God has made this corn amazing in the way that the blades of the leaves will actually catch these and act like a funnel, and we'll show that in a second. But what you want to know is inside here, let's see if we can get one to pop open, are the anthers. Look, and I can actually have them pop out from inside the gloom. Now, you can see them all over the tops of these, and you'll notice them on your corn as it is growing, that they'll go from green to having all those tan anthers all over. And what you'll see too as we look down is they are all over the ground. You might not notice these if you're in dirt and grass, but oh my goodness, having the woven weed fabric really brings it out. Now, let's get down to our ear of corn here. Okay, so we all know what the ear of corn looks like. We've all bought them from the store. We look at the corn and this ear, and it has this silk on top. Now, we might think that is a pest when we buy them from the store and we want to get them off, but what's amazing about this silk is that it is responsible for every single kernel on the corn. Look at a younger ear. This silk is sticky and kind of moist and things, and it's because it sticks those anthers onto it. Those anthers are carrying the pollen. Every single one of these silks has to be pollinated in order to have every single kernel on the cob be filled in. If not, that's why you'll sometimes see gaps in your corn, because one of the silks did not get pollinated, or many of them. Now, let's get up close and personal with some of these blades, and so you can see how they work. An ear of corn grows at the bottom of the blade of corn. That is so the pollen, the anthers fall from the gloom, they fall onto the leaves, and they fall down to the ear. Let me show you over here on a younger one. See how this leaf is bringing these down, and so it'll funnel down onto the ears of corn, onto those silks, and pollinate each one of those silks. It acts like a funnel. This leaf does not have an ear of corn, but look at how much it has caught. And that would be wonderful if I had an ear of corn there, so it could pollinate it well and get all of those pollinated. Our son has returned, that's okay. How does this affect you? Okay, first of all, you've probably heard that when you plant corn, you want it in rows at least of 4, which we have here. That is because usually corn is pollinated by the wind. The wind blows, and it blows all the tassels, and you can actually, I just had some fall, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, and all of the anthers from the gloom fall onto the leaves and pollinate onto the ears of corn. If you have one row, you have a less likely chance of that wind, because it has to be blowing in exactly the right direction in order for the anthers to fall onto the plant. If you have them in rows, several rows, they have a better chance of that wind blowing, those anthers blowing, and being caught onto the silks. So you want them in rows of 4. Now, in a small garden like I have, which this planting of corn is probably 4 by 25. Easy to walk down, easy to pollinate. What I'm gonna do is the lazy man's way of doing it, but there are different ways. You can collect these anthers, shake them up in a brown paper bag, and then sprinkle that on either with a brush or your hand and brush on and pollinate your ears of corn. I am going to take off some of these tassels and I'm going to rub them on my silks as I walk through, and that's going to be good enough for me. These are already starting to look brown, which is when it's too late to do it. So let's talk about when you should be doing this. You want, once your ears start to form and you see the silks, you want to wait a little bit of time after that to start doing it. You want them still white or green and moist. Once they turn brown, you're past your time. Look at this one right here. I can still try to pollinate that, but that is mostly done. That's drying up and that's getting ready. I'll know this is totally ready when this starts turning a darker brown, and then it'll be ready to harvest. When this is all the way brown and this is a darker green, that's gonna be my signal that it's time to harvest. And obviously, if it's time to harvest, it's much past time to be pollinating. So you want them light, like this one over here, and we're gonna pollinate that. We're gonna pollinate more down these rows, and hopefully that'll help us get a really good harvest. My method may be the lazy man's way, but it's the way I've got to do it, living far away from the garden and it being blazing hot today. So here we go. I am going to rip off a tassel here. I'm going to take my tassel. I'm going to use it as a paintbrush. Here we go. I'm going to use it as a paintbrush. Here we go with that. And I'm going to rub it on. I'm going to travel down the rows and do that. I have a little bit of pollen on my hands from that. You want those anthers to get on there. They're carrying the pollen, and that's your best chance of having a more successful harvest with corn. This, guys, will not take you long to do. It only took me a few minutes to do about half of that corn. And you know what? If you want to do the paper bag, that is a method that I've totally seen online that people use. I'm just a little bit lazier about it. I think mine do pretty good at pollinating, so I don't feel like I'm lacking so much that I have to do it that way. But hey, it's always in the harvest when you see whether your predictions were correct or not. So anyways, guys, I'm excited to eat some of this corn here soon. Some of these ears are starting to get brown. They're smaller than last year. This is a different kind. We'll see if we like them or if we want to go back to Old Faithful last year that we had. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope it was helpful to you. Please give it a thumbs up. Please share it with your friends and your family. And as always, please subscribe to the channel. It's a great way in supporting us and creating this content for you. And you'll be able to see all the new videos we're putting out for you guys. So thank you so much for stopping in. Until next time, we'll see you soon.